videos. That's what the videos are for. So y'all should have watched. If you were confused about vertical and horizontal shifts, you should have watched them.
Section 2 of chapter 1.
Yeah. That's where you get part of it. Yeah, I just went ahead and showed you everything. So let's go ahead and put one on the board and let you sketch it. F of x is equal to 2 times x plus 4 quantity squared minus 4. And f of x is equal to 3, or 1/2 absolute value of x minus 3 plus 2. All right, sketch those two. Don't want you to plot any points. Just sketch them. Oh, no, you can just draw a graph on your notebook paper. It ain't got to be this sketching, so it doesn't have to be perfect. First one. And I'm going to draw, this is a parabola, right?
Yeah.
The original parabola looks something like this, right? The parent graph. You always want to picture that when you're doing this. Now, I'm going to highlight in yellow. What does that guy tell you? It's going to be what? It's going to be narrow, right? So it's going to be more narrow than the black one. That's what that tells you. From the positive 2. I told you if A is greater than 1, it makes it more narrow. Then we will highlight the 4. Oops, sorry. What is that? What shift is that? horizontal shift, and it's always reversed. So that means we're going to take the yellow parabola and do what? Move it to the left. It's always the reverse of, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at your notes from the other day. There's our graph. Okay? And then we'll highlight the last shift, purple. And what does that shift mean? Down, how many? 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there, that purple graph is supposed to be skinnier, supposed to be yellow and the green. But I'm making it. That's the graph. That's what it looks like.
I'm confused.
I'm human. Nice to meet you. What?
I'm sorry, it's just that I don't think I'm getting this. It's just,
We'll have to turn to your notes. Or use your notes from the other day.
I guess they're right
I
here.
won't see it. Okay. No highlights. You got one highlight.
Why, I can't highlight, I don't have 3 different colors of highlighter.
Well, you get two or three. How many did you get when you got home?
What do you mean when I got home?
You need to get some more.
Sorry.
I'm just playing. Look, A. What does A tell you?
The orientation.
So it tells you if it's opening up, if it's opening down, or if it's skinny, or if it's wide.
How do I know which is which?
If it's positive, it opens up. If it's negative, it opens down. If it's greater than 1, it's what? If it's between 0 and 1, it's wide.
So if it's a fraction, it's what?
Not a fraction. 3 halves is what? What's 3 halves?
Okay. If it's part of what?
Yeah. 0 to 1. So if it's 1 1/2, then it would be skinny. Now, what about the horizontal shift? What does it say there? What does it say in your notes about the horizontal shift?
Says that
If it's positive,
it's going to the left.
if it's negative,
It's going to the right.
and then what does it say about K?
It's positive is going up, it's negative is going down.
Okay. So what does this +4 mean? Going to the what?
Wait, oh, give me a second.
Okay.
I don't know these. This, I don't know. Okay.
Positive 4, that's the horizontal shift. So what does a +4 mean?
Usually opens.
No, that's here. I've already done the 2. The 4, I'm right here. I'm on your H. What does the H mean? Horizontal shift, and it's positive. So where did I go?
Goes left.
Left. So that's where I moved it left. And the reason I dotted it in is because you're not drawing the graph as you move it. I'm showing you what they mean. All right? This is the only graph you should have, but I'm showing you how to get there with the dotting. All right? Now what does this K mean? Bang.
Wait, those are the coordinates, aren't they?
Yeah, vertex.
So
So your vertex is -4, -4.
So H equals X, K equals Y? Or like the point?
Yes. All right, now let's do the second one. I can't find my pen. All right, so here we go. Here's the second one. What does one, okay, here's my parent graph of absolute value. What does it look like? There's my parent graph. This is the one that's normal. A is equal to 1. Okay, so we take our highlighted yellow. What does this 1/2 tell us?
Y.
There you go. Now you're catching on. So I'm going to draw it a little bit wider. And the highlighted green, which is your horizontal shift, what does that mean? Move it to the right 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And I draw that yellow one. Instead of yellow, I draw it green. So it's at my and then what does the positive 2 mean? Up 2. So 1, 2, oops. 1, 2, and the actual graph is that purple one. So, as Mr. Clauser said, he said it correctly, and which I was getting to it, and that's fine. What is this number and this number? This number and this number is your x and your y of your what? Vertex, which is the highest or lowest point of your function, or turning point. But you got to remember, this is opposite. So what's the vertex of this function? 3, 2. That's your vertex. This is the only time in mathematics when this is opposite. And it's the reason, I'll show you right quick. The reason is because it's written 2 times x minus h squared plus k. That's the original form. All right. Now, if I put a -3 in here for that k, what does it come out to be? And that's why you always do the opposite.
That's for absolute value.
Well, right here it would be the same thing. 1a times x minus h plus k. If you was to plug in a -3 right here, what would you get? Even though you're plugging in a -3, what would you come out with? A positive. If you plugged in a 4 right here, what would you get? A negative. Well, what is negative compared to that? It's the opposite. It's always going to be the opposite.
How do we know that there's a negative in the formula?
That's the original formula. That's the general formula. That's it. That's what was derived millions of years ago, 1,000 years ago. That's the original. But I don't explain it that way because that confuses students. So what I tell students is, I don't do this. I don't do that. I just tell students to do the opposite. Opposite, opposite. And that's the only time in math that you do the opposite. All right, let's try a couple more just to make sure everybody feels good about themselves. Okay?
Oh, I get it. Like negative numbers go to the left and positive numbers go to the right. So
That usually. But here,
positive
stop.
goes to the left, negative goes to the right.
Yep. There you go.
So if I just follow this rubric, I should be able to solve the problems.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons I gave it to you. A rubric. That basically a list that you can go down. All right. F of x is equal to. All right. I'm going to give you one here. Mess you up. right, try those two. And if you can't do them, that means you're a failure. And this is, what do we say, 1.3? 1.4? And 1.4 is basically finding equations. Finding an equation, you have to have two things on a linear. You have to have a slope in other words, you have to be either given a slope or you have to find the slope. And you have to have the point-slope equation. And the point-slope equation is y minus y sub 1 is equal to x, m times x minus x again. Now that is the two things that you need to find an equation of a straight line. Now, there's three types of problems you're going to get when you need to find the equation. One type of problem will be given a line and you find the points, 2 points. In other words, you're going to be given a line on a graph and they're going to say find an equation of the line. Sometimes they'll give you 2 green points or 2 dots that are painted green. Sometimes they won't. Depends on who's giving you the problem. And the second type problem is you're going to be given 2 points. Given 2 pointies. Given 2 points. X of 1, y sub 1, x of 2, y sub 2. In other words, they don't give you the line on the graph, they just give you the points. And the third type of question is the easiest. This one's the easy one. They give you a slope and a point. So there's your three types of problems. And in order to do these three types of problems, you're going to have to use these two rules. So let's start with one. Everybody got that down? This right here? You got all of it? I'll let you give me a minute. Finish writing. All right, we're done? All right, so let's go to the next page and turn it into a graph. And this is some form, just think of this as a small graph on one of your homework questions. Not a big page, but just think of it as a small little window. You have to enlarge, blow it up. And they give you a line, and it looks something like that. And they say, find an equation for that line. Well, they may or may not give you points. But most of the time, they'll take a green dot or a yellowish green dot, and they'll put one here. Really? I'm going to scream. I'm really going to scream. They'll put a green dot there and they'll put a green dot there. And they want you to use those points, or you can pick your points. How do you know you can pick the points? Because they won't give you two green dots. So, with the information that I've given you, go ahead and find the equation for this line.
Does it matter which one's X of 1 and X of 2?
Well, we read from left to right, so the one on the left would be x of 1, y of 1. So, what's this point? Negative 3, comma, 0. And what's this point? 0, 4. So now you got 2 points. I'm going to write them up here. Negative 3, comma, 0, 0, comma, 4. So what is this guy? X of 1, y of 1, x of 2, y of 2. Plug and chug. M is equal to y of 2 minus y of 1 over x of 2 minus x of 1. And I always tell students when they plug in to use what? Parentheses. M is equal to parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. What's y sub 2? 4. What's y sub 1? What's x sub 2? What's x sub 1? So your answer, m is equal to what? 4/3. So now we have a point. That's the first part. Find your slope. And once you find your slope, this is part 2. Your slope, m, is equal to 4/3. And I'm going to pick a point. I'm picking 0 and 4. Why did I pick 0 and 4? The easiest. Always pick the easiest point. That means no negatives and no fractions needs to help it. And now plug it into your y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. This is x sub 1, this is y sub 1. Plug each other. Solve for y.
That's defined like the y-intercept.
This is the general form of a line. Yeah, that's the y-intercept in this one. But it's not always going to be the y-intercept. Maybe another point. Now, when you plug and chug, y minus parentheses is equal to parentheses times x minus parentheses. 4/3 goes here. 4 goes here, and 0 goes here. I'm going to take this to the next page. Copy that. Alright, so there's our formula. Y minus 4 is equal to 4/3 x minus 0. And then y is equal to 4/3 x plus what? And there is the equation for that straight line. All right? Feel good? All right, then what else could I give you? Well, I could just give you 2 points. I could just say 5, 6, 2, 3. Instead of giving you a graph, I just give you 2 points. You're doing that. Most people would be looking at Facebook.
Do you know what difference between a nerd and a geek is?
What?
The difference between a nerd and a geek is well, I think anyway. I think a nerd is someone who like knows a lot about something, and a geek is someone who's like obsessed with something.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Geek.
Let's look it up in the dictionary. While y'all are doing this problem, I'll look it up for you. Originally used to describe eccentric or non-mainstream people. In current use, the word typically connotes an expert or enthusiast or a person obsessed with a hobby. That's why I said technique. Yeah. You're taking notes with a computer. I think that's, you like it. They're paper geeks, yeah. No, I'm just kidding. One who is perceived as an intellectual. Huh?
What website you look?
That was Wikipedia. I just Googled it. Let's look at nerd.
Do you have a dictionary?
Huh?
Do you have a dictionary?
Oh, no. I did that one time. I won't do that again. A descriptive term openly used pejoratively. Y'all not listening. I thought y'all were like listening to me. Y'all not listening. Indicating that a personally.
Got it. It'll give you like the true definition of it.
Are you finished? Overly intellectual, obsessive, or socially impaired. So there's a little bit of a difference. Yeah, there's a term that I grew up with called slappy pappy. And that means like slap your grandma. I pulled that up on Urban Dictionary one time. It ain't what I was raised on. It gave the pornographic definition.
Urban Dictionary says abuse is the
Yep. Yep.
So that was one of them.
I don't think it gives a serious definition.
No, it's what, this Urban Dictionary, that's just, it's what people think. What does it say? Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Huh?
I'm not gonna add that in that sentence.
Just look up Slappy Pappy.
Close
Huh?
That's pretty close.
Ratchet says, a diva, mostly from urban cities and ghettos, that has
Yeah.
a reason to believe she's every man's icon. Unless she's wrong.
Yeah.
Typical signs to beware of include, but are not limited to, owning a BlackBerry, blares anything by Drake, 2K, Nicki Minaj, Gucci Mane, rattling puts lyrics, something, has a weed, reminiscent of a bird's nest, and horns and leggings and stockings, mostly of the fishnet variety.
A naive person, you might think you don't know, if you're naive and sensitive, you might just be, if you don't know what a word is, you might just be popping up in your mind, censorship, censorship, censorship.
I'm still looking. I don't see what y'all laughing at. On Geek.
It's
I'm
not.
not talking about geek.
No, y'all were looking at, y'all said y'all wasn't gonna say it.
No, I typed in gig and I said it, and then the search bar says type in a word like blank, and I clicked on it, and then that was what it was.
Oh, I thought it was under Geek. Yeah, don't type in Slappy Pappy. I ain't doing that again. I did it in front of the whole class. And I couldn't get it off there quick enough. All right. So, M. M is equal to 3 minus 6 over what? 2 minus 5. 3 minus 6 is, and 2 minus 5 is, so our slope is what? 1. So y minus 3 is equal to 1 times x minus 2. Y is equal to 1x. And what's minus 2 plus 3? 1, Hubert. That's right. So your answer is y is equal to x plus 1.
X plus, wait, X plus one? Oh, we're supposed to leave.
And then the last type of question you'll see on the test.
Wait, we use that to solve the equation as a whole?
You got to get y by itself. That means you have to take -3 to the other side.
For a sec, I think I got confused the first time I was thinking that y and x were y2 and x2.
Yeah.
Minus.
Now, the last question that we
Wait a
want.
second, how did you get, I'm sorry.
That's all right. How did I get what?
How did you get, what, how did you get, wait a second. Oh, yeah, like X, Y, and Y when you can plug in either one of these,
Yeah.
coordinates. I was. Was one, yes. X plus one is the function of okay, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
All right, and the third type question would be one like this. What do they give us? Slope and a point, and you just do what? Plug and chug. Let y'all finish that out. What? I'm not gonna believe y'all anymore. It's 10 to 11. That's all I'm gonna start looking at my watch. I've already taken the roll, so I'm gonna hold y'all right up until the last minute. Y minus 2 is equal to 4x minus 12. And then y is equal to 4x minus what? And those are the three type problems that you'll be given with your homework or your test. Now let's look at the one that we initially started with. The problem with this one is it's not a straight line. So your answers will vary. What you need to do is try to find the best fit. And usually if you take so silly. Okay. Let's try this again. Usually, if you take the first point and connect it with the second point, you can see that there's only one fluctuation of the line, and that is right here, pretty much. Now, there's no way, if you did it this way, that line is still not. If you did this, that wouldn't work because that's too much of a change. See what I'm saying? So I wouldn't do that. You could do something like this. You could do that, and that's a possibility, and use these 2 points. Or you could bring it down a little bit if you wanted to. I'd probably say the best thing to do would be this. I don't know what they use, but I think that right there is probably the best bet. And use maybe that point and that point. And now you got somewhat of a line. You got a little bit of variation here, and you got a little bit of variation here. Now that's not going to make up for that, but for a prediction, it would work. then that's where you get your straight line, and you would use maybe this point and this point for your slope. And find the slope, and then you find the equation. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day. See y'all when? Huh?